the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus in 2023. Is it worth picking up? Well, it really depends on you. It depends on the person. I think it is definitely worth it, honestly. But it really depends on you and your situation. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why I believe it is worth picking up. And I will give maybe 2 reasons why it may not be worth picking up. All right? So let's get started. First thing, let's talk about the price. Now, I've seen this device on Amazon for $285 fully unlocked and renewed in excellent condition. That alone is a reason to pick this up. Less than $300. Keep in mind, this was a $1,100 device when it was released. Either $1,100 or $1,200. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was $1,100. And now you can get it for less than $300. And it's only a couple of years old. Okay, keep that in mind. Also, the next thing, it's a flagship device. So you're talking about the best of the best, top tier, premium status. All right. And also, when you think about the next thing is the design. And the design is beautiful. It's very elegant. A big, difference than the Note 9. Just a whole new look. Very elegant, very beautiful. This was my favorite designed Note until the Note 20 Ultra. I think that Note has the best design out of any Note I've ever had, in my opinion. You can disagree with that if you like. That's your opinion. We all have our opinions. Next is the excellent build quality, which this does have. Now, this phone, for me, the only thing I guess that disappointed me was how thin it is. Like, I don't like thin phones. I like phones that have some thickness to it. Just makes it a little easier for me to hold. This phone is rather thin to me, and I don't really like thin phones. But the build quality overall is excellent. You got Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and the back. Now, to me, Gorilla Glass 6 is not the best when it comes to scratch resistance, because I did incur a really bad scratch on this display. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's coming from all the way up here, all the way down here from some keys I had in my pocket. It's really ugly, and it was really messing up. When I used my S Pen, it was kind of acting funny with the S Pen because it's such deep groove scratch in it. So Gorilla Glass 6 not all that great for me when it comes to scratch resistance. Gorilla Glass Victus, absolutely no issues, but overall the build quality on this device is still great, no doubt about that. Now, the one thing I never liked about this device, and I hated it, was the button placement, with no power button on the right side and putting it on the left. That was probably one of the dumbest things Samsung ever did. Besides taking away expandable storage, that's probably the number one stupidest thing they ever did. But when it comes to button placement, if you're a lefty, you're going to love having the power button on the left. If you're a righty, you're going to hate it. But there is a way around that, what you can do. Since the power button, now you could use your index, your index finger here to hit the power button, or you could just double tap. Let me see it. Hold up. Or you could just double tap to turn off the screen. So there's a way around dealing with that power button. All you do, double tap the screen twice, turns it right out. All right. So there's ways around it, but I just hate it. All right. Okay. Now you do have face unlock. Face unlock is, okay. It's on here, if you want it. But, it's okay. It's not as great as other devices, but it's still good. And it's on here. You got the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor here. That works very well. No issues with that. Of course, you got your always-on display, which Samsung makes the best always-on display in the business, as you can see there. Next, you got dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. Now, these speakers sound really, really good, but they don't sound as good as the Note 20 Ultra. But they do sound good. I just wish they were a whole, much louder, but they do have good sound quality. Next, 12 gigs of RAM. Love that. So if you're a gamer or you're somebody that likes to multitask a lot, you're not going to have an issue with that on this device at all. 12 gigs of RAM is plenty. Next, 256 gigs of internal storage. Now, I was so happy when Samsung put that much internal storage on this device, because then they turned right around with the Note 20 Ultra and gave us 128, which infuriated me, because why would you go from 256 standard, that's the base model, to 120, to dropping it back to 128? Like, that made no sense to me. So if you're the type of person like me that you need a lot of storage, the base storage on here is excellent at 256 gigs. Also, keep in mind with the S22 Ultra and the S21 Ultra, they did the same thing. 128 for the base storage, which I think is just not right at all. Next, expandable storage, something also they removed from the S21 and the S22. So now you can't even get expandable storage on their premium devices anymore. Excuse me. Which is a big disappointment. But if you're somebody like me that needs expandable storage, you like to vlog, you like to shoot a lot of 4K video or even 1080p video, you're going to be able to expand the storage. So 256 internal, up to 1 terabyte SD card slot. Love that. Okay. Next, 45 watt super fast charging capable. Now, standard is 25. Like, basically Samsung gives you a 25 watt charger in the box, but it can charge up to 45 watts. So basically you could charge this phone in under an hour. So, and that's something that they took away from the Note 20 Ultra and the S21 Ultra. They did return it back to the S22 Ultra. Don't figure, right? Next, wireless charging. Now, it's only 15 watt wireless charging, but it's wireless charging nonetheless. You can fully charge it from 0 to 100% in about 2 hours and 43 minutes. So wireless charging is on deck. Next, 9 watt reverse wireless charging. Now, I like that. This was the first device that Samsung ever put. Well, not the first device. I say the second, because, the S series always comes out first. But this was the first Note that gave you power share, which is reverse wireless charging, where you could put another device on the back of this, give it charge. You could charge your smartwatch. You can charge some wireless earbuds, and that was cool. But listen to me, 9 watts. Okay. Now check this out. With the Note 20 Ultra, they reduced it down to 4.5 watts. And it has remained that way with the S21 and the S22. 4.5. You go from 9 watts down to 4.5. Why? See, I don't understand what Samsung is doing. They used to be a company I just gave so much high praise to, and they have just really disappointed me over the last several years with their decisions, removing stuff and reducing things. I don't like it. And especially with that no charger, no case, no earbuds, like nothing in the box at all except the phone and a charging cable. That's a joke, especially for devices that are costing over $1,000. Don't like that. Next, great cameras. Now this thing has 3 cameras on the back, and they shoot really, really good video and photos. No 100 times zoom, nothing like that. But everybody don't need to zoom in something 50 or 100 times. But just point and shoot, and to be able to zoom in on stuff and get good quality shots, you're going to get that with the Note 10 Plus. You can you can check out my Note 10 Plus full review on this. Takes excellent pictures. Never had an issue with the photo and video quality on this device. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I believe it was back the end of 2019, I believe. Yeah, the end of 2019, I went to a commission concert, which was a gospel group that I grew up watching, since I was a kid. And I recorded the whole concert on this device. And that video is on my channel as well. Commission Reunion. Yeah, I recorded that whole concert with this Note 10 Plus, and it turned out so nice. And I'm talking in very, very low light. And this thing shot excellent 1080p at 60 frames per second video of my favorite male gospel group of all time. You ain't gonna have a problem with this when it comes to video at all, or either photos, in my opinion. Now, are there other devices out there now that are a little bit better? Of course. Of course, that's what they keep doing. They keep improving on the camera quality. So, but you're not gonna have any issues with this at all. None at all. Not in my opinion. Next, you got the Bluetooth S Pen. Now, the thing I like about it here is that it's on the right side of the device where it belongs, not the left side, which is on the S22 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra. I hate that placement. I hate it with a passion, because the S Pen has always been on the right side, just like the power button has always been on the right side, until the morons put it over here. So if you're the type of person that uses the S Pen a lot, you're going to want it to be on the right side where it's always been. I still can't get used to it with my Note 20 Ultra being on the left. I have not adjusted to it yet. I just hate it. Next, you get Samsung DeX on here. So if you're a person that like to use Samsung DeX, it's on the Note 10 Plus. But you will need a Samsung TV in order to use it. That way you can turn this phone, and use it as a laptop on a smart screen, either your computer or a TV. But it has to be a Samsung TV. All right, next is the top tier display, 6.8 inch Quad HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display. As you can see, it's beautiful, it's bezel-less, it's gorgeous. And I love the square boxy shape. Now this is not the most comfortable phone to hold in your hand without a case, because these corners are going to stick in your palm if you hold your phone like this. Now, if you hold your phone up here like this, then it's not going to bother you. But most people ain't doing that. Most people have their this here to hold the phone, got the thumb here, fingers here, and it's going to be in the cradle of your hand. But when it comes to the display, this display is beautiful. I think it's at least 12 or 1300 nits peak brightness. It gets nice and bright. No problem seeing it outside. But it's just eye candy. It's just beautiful. No bezels whatsoever. You can see the wallpapers that are constantly changing. Now, the wallpaper that I'm using for this is called HD wallpapers. So I got it set to change wallpapers every minute. So that's what I like, because I'm the type of person, I want to see something different every time I open my phone. Every time I'm using my phone, I want to see a different wallpaper. That's just me. Now, keep in mind, no high refresh rate on the Note 10 Plus. That also was a mistake that Samsung made with this device. Now, at minimum, they should have had at least a 90 hertz refresh rate on this device, but no, just 60 hertz. Now, I know that don't matter to everybody. Just the really big time tech heads like me and other people, that now that you use a high refresh rate and you know how nice it is and how buttery smooth it is and how fast it is, you don't ever want to go back to 60 hertz. But for those of you that never used it, a higher refresh, a phone with a higher refresh rate, you'll be fine with this. I mean, it does still scroll fine, smooth, but it's just something about that 120. It just takes it to another level. But beautiful display nonetheless. Next, 4,300 milliamp hour battery. The battery life on here is good, not great. Now, I'm talking about for me. I can still get through a full day, no problem. Now, keep in mind, I'm using the always on display at 100% brightness. I'm using the display at 100% brightness. I'm using everything at max. I got pretty much everything turned on. So I use my phone different than most people. Most people ain't using their phone like this heavy, with everything is super bright. That's just the way I like everything. I like everything bright and vibrant. I want everything on. If I'm paying a premium price for a device, I want to use everything it has to offer. So I turn everything on. But the battery life is good. Definitely good. You definitely get through a full day. Next, of course, Android 12 was the last Android update for this device. It won't get Android 13, and it's on its last year of security patches. So you got one more year security patches left on this device, if that matters to you. Now, those two reasons will be the only reasons why I say you may not want to consider it, because it's not getting any more Android updates and no more software updates from Samsung far as One UI. So it's on One UI 4.1, and it's not going to get any more upgrades. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, as far as security patch, you got one more year left. But like I said, and I said this before in other videos, you could put your own layer of security on the device. You could put a VPN on there if you want to, and it does have built-in security from Knox and also McAfee that's built into the phone where you scan it and it does keep your phone safe. So security patches for me is not the biggest deal. I've never had any issues with either using older phones where I had no updates at all, no security updates, and I have had no issues whatsoever. So don't, make like the security patches are the biggest deal in the world, because they're not. They're really not. And you could put your own VPN on here and pay $3 a month for your own VPN and constantly keep your internet traffic encrypted. So if you want to do that, that's an option. All right. Now, of course, One UI is what makes this phone, well, one of the major things that make this phone so great, because you get so many features. And I'm only going to name a few because this thing is just loaded with features, such as Samsung Wallet, Samsung Pass, Secure Folder, floating windows, edge panels, edge lighting, link to windows, good lock, one-handed mode, and dynamic live and lock screen wallpapers. That's just to name a few of the features that this phone offers. This software is loaded, it's packed to the gills. Of course, you can multitask. I mean, you could just do so many things. You could have, 6 to 7 apps open all at the same time on the screen. I mean, One UI is probably one of the best things Samsung ever did with their software when it comes to their phones, because the Samsung experience, I didn't really have an issue with it, but the one prior to that, which I can't remember the name of it at the moment, it was pretty bad. it was really, really bad. But One UI is top notch. Not the smoothest, but still top notch. Performance on here is still really good. I have no issues with performance. Of course, it's not the fastest thing out there, but it's going to be fast enough for the average person. I mean, you got to keep in mind it's an older processor, so it's not going to be as fast, but it's fast enough. You're gonna enjoy, your experience with the software. As you can see, everything comes open pretty quick. Now, everything don't, every app don't, behave the same. Some apps take a couple more seconds to open up than others, but overall, it's not a slow device at all. So, performance-wise, no problems whatsoever. So I'll end this video saying I believe it's definitely worth picking up, unless you need the latest and greatest software. If you need software updates, okay, it's not. If you need security patches, it's not. But other than that, this is definitely an excellent phone to pick up, especially for the price, $285, under $300 for a top tier premium flagship device with great cameras, great performance, and you getting tons and tons of features. You're getting 45-watt super fast charging, you're getting wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, the S Pen. I mean, come on. You're getting face unlock, always on display, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, quad HD display. I mean, you're getting the full package. Samsung DeX. You're getting the full package with this device. So it's definitely worth picking up. I highly recommend this device. The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus is a boss of a device. So thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.